Well, welcome in, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome in across the continent today for another exciting Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants broadcast with us. I know for many of you, this is the first time you've ever joined us, in which case, welcome to the show. We are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And everything we do goes to our YouTube channel. So if you want to share this with your family or friends, or check out like 3,500 other past programs that we've done over the last decade, you can do all that right there. Now, today's very exciting for a number of reasons. Number one, we're doing back in with our Peak Discovery series. We brought this together in like a week, which is insane and so much fun. Back in conjunction with the amazing folks at Parks Canada's Mountain Park. So Alberta and British Columbia. I know a lot of you are coming from there today. I've had the chance to visit there. These are not just some of the most beautiful places in Canada, but some of the most beautiful places in the entire world. And so for the past 2 years, we've partnered with Jasper, Kootenay, Yoho, Banff, Waterton Lakes National Parks to highlight and showcase the incredible stories that these places have to offer. So thank you all for being here as we kick off the series again. And you can check out many more to come starting in the new year in 2025. Now, before I dive in with our amazing educator today for our topic, I want to note we have a Kahoot today. So between our talk and Q&A, you can play along with a little 4-question quiz right there with that game pin. I'll make sure everyone gets that in the chat in just a second as well. But without further ado, we're going to go under the water today. We're going to learn about the magic Waterton Lake and some of the incredible creatures that live in it, some of the challenges it faces, and what we're doing about it. So Shani, thank you so much for joining us again. And welcome back to the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jesse. Well, we can all get going. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you're all here with me today. My name is Shani, like Jesse said, and I'm an interpreter here in Waterton Lakes National Park. Now, one of my absolute favorite things to do in my free time here in the park is to go fishing and just to spend time in Waterton's aquatic ecosystems. So I'm so excited that I get to go on this underwater adventure with you all today. Now, these aquatic ecosystems that we're going to be exploring have been used for a very long time. We acknowledge that we are in the territories of the Siksika Sitapi, the Kainai, Bigani, Siksika, and Amskapi Bigani. Waterton Lakes National Park falls within Treaty 7 territory, which includes Tsuut'ina Nation, Yari or Stoney Nakoda, Bears Paw, Chiniki, and Good Stoney. The Tunakan Nation also have a connection to Waterton, and members of Métis Nation of Alberta District 1 currently live in the Waterton Lakes area. The lands and waters of Waterton have been used for millennia by Indigenous peoples for sustenance, ceremony, trade, and travel. We thank them for their continuous stewardship and for sharing the land with us. Now, Waterton's Indigenous partners and the aquatics team in the park work very hard to study Waterton's aquatic ecosystems so that they can remain in the best shape possible for all of us to enjoy. They collect water samples, perform habitat and snorkel surveys, and even do something called electrofishing, which allows them to catch native fish like the West Slope cutthroat trout and the bull trout so that they can safely study them at a closer level. Last year, they did an extra survey to test if there was a specific invasive species called whirling disease in Waterton. Now, I'm curious, does anyone here know what invasive species is? Type your answers in the chat.
I will note for any time that that's said, if you guys do type your answers in the chat, both on YouTube or in StreamYard, I'll pass along your answers. So please do feel free to have your hands at the trigger fingers and share anything you want about what you think invasive species are. I know we've got a big audience today across the continent. So any thoughts? We've got online species that are where they're not supposed to be. So, okay, that's actually a really solid answer. We've got some examples of invasive species coming in. Anything else you guys want to share is great. And we'll leave it there for now, Shani. But if there's anything else people come up with, I'll be sure to share it.
Amazing. Yeah, you have it exactly. So an invasive species can be a plant, an animal, or a parasite that isn't originally from an area. And then often through humans, they're brought to that area and then they cause a lot of harm. And so whirling disease is an invasive parasite, which means that it needs 2 hosts to complete its life cycle, an aquatic worm and a fish. And so to test if whirling disease was in Waterton, the aquatics team placed cages of young trout into the main rivers in Waterton, and then constantly checked on the fish to see if they got infected. Now, unfortunately, the results did show that whirling disease is present in the Belly River in a small section of the park. This was really devastating discovery. But all is not lost. The young trout from the other waters in the park came back completely healthy. And so this means that whirling disease is isolated to the Belly River, and all of the rest of the park's waters are clean and healthy. Now, this leaves us all with an incredible responsibility and opportunity to work together to keep these waters clean. And today, we're all going to get to go underwater to help out. Now, I don't have any scuba gear with me today for all of us to put on, but I do have something which I think is even better. Now, I found out this summer that the main lake in Waterton has magical powers. When a big group of imaginative and enthusiastic people get together, like this group today, the lake's magical powers are activated. And the lake is so powerful, in fact, that its magic will transfer through all of our screens today. And then will transform us all in our classrooms into whatever aquatic creature we want. All we have to do is say a spell together. So the first spell I have here will transform all of our screens in our classrooms into windows so that we can see everything that's happening around us. So repeat after me in your classrooms, everybody, as loud as you can, okay? So, Dear Magic Falls Theater.
Dear Magic Falls Theater.
To help us adventure through the waters below.
To help us adventure through the waters below.
Please turn our screens into giant windows.
Please turn our screens into giant windows.
Wow, look at that. It worked. That is Upper Waterton Lake just outside of our classrooms right now. Now we can see everything that's happening outside of our classrooms. Cool. Okay, now the next step might be a little bit trickier because we have to get all of our giant classrooms into the water. But don't worry, I have just the spell for that too. So repeat after me in your classrooms one more time. Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Now that we can see, let's raise the stakes.
Now that we can see, let's raise the stakes.
Let's all make a splash in the Waterton Lakes.
Let's all make a splash in the Waterton Lakes.
Amazing! Look at that! We did it! We're underwater, everyone. How cool! Can you all hear the waves splashing around us? Awesome. Well, all we have to do now is we have to transform into a fun creature. And I think we should start with phytoplankton. They're so small that you'd need a microscope to see them with your naked eye. Or a little bit of magic, of course. So, you know the drill by now. Repeat after me as loud as you can in your classrooms. Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Phyto means plant.
Phyto means plant.
And plankton means floating.
And plankton means floating.
They're super important and sometimes glowing.
They're super important and sometimes glowing.
There's more of them in the water.
There's more of them in the water
than there are stars in the sky.
Than there are stars in the sky. Wow.
Let's all shrink down super, super, super small to find out why.
Let's all shrink down super, super small to find out why.
Amazing. Look at that. We did it. These glowy green creatures must be the phytoplankton. Look how magical they are. And they're so peacefully floating around in the water. I bet we could all get that peaceful too. So let's all try to relax our minds and our bodies so that we feel just like the phytoplankton. So first, let's all take a deep breath in together. Ready? Hold it for a second and then deep breath out. Okay, I feel relaxed already, but let's take one more deep breath. Classrooms, stretch your neck and roll your shoulders and stretch your legs. And then when you're feeling relaxed, slowly start swaying your body around to the sound of the waves, imagining that you are phytoplankton peacefully floating in the water. Ah, the life of a phytoplankton is so peaceful. But that magic spell we said earlier also mentioned that phytoplankton are super important. And I wonder why. Let's all take a close look out our windows and see if we can find any hints. Oh, I wonder if it has something to do with phytoplankton are so important. Let's keep watching it. Oh, it's eating the phytoplankton. Wow, I bet we're important because we're a food source. Look, there's another one, and it's also eating the phytoplankton. That must be it. The important job of a phytoplankton is to feed these bigger creatures. How cool. Now, these creatures are called zooplankton. Plankton because they float, just like the phytoplankton. And zoo because there's lots of animals at a zoo, right? And so these are tiny floating animals. Now, look how these zooplankton are not eating everything in their path. Each one is being selective, only eating a few phytoplankton and leaving the rest behind. This way, there will always be lots of food to go around. How cool. Let's keep watching them for a moment. Oh, what's that? It's an even bigger creature, and it's eating the zooplankton. Whoa! Shout out in your classrooms what you think it is. You're all right, it's a worm, a special aquatic worm that has little hair-like structures on its body that help it swim around. Wow. So these aquatic worms get their energy from eating the zooplankton. But I wonder where us phytoplankton get all of our energy from. Type it in the chat if you have any ideas.
Ooh, where do we think we get our energy from? Yeah. The sun, we're getting on YouTube. The sun. Okay, I think that might be our correct answer. Plants, phytoplankton, plants?
Sun, absolutely. Phytoplankton get their energy from the sun, just like land plants do. And that process is called photosynthesis. Wow, good job, everyone. Together, we figured out how aquatic ecosystems work as a system. And what a perfect system it is. I mean, there's enough sun to give energy to billions of us phytoplankton. And there's enough plankton to give energy to the bigger creatures in the lake, like the zooplankton and the worms. And what in the water likes to eat worms? Of course, fish do. Yes, everyone gets fed in this perfect system. Unfortunately, though, there is something that can mess up this system pretty badly. Invasive mussels. Let's all imagine for a moment what would happen if invasive zebra and quagga mussels made it into Waterton's waters. Now, these are zebra and quagga mussels. They're a small invasive species from Europe. They were accidentally brought into Lake Erie in Ontario in the 1980s in a big shipping boat. And they multiplied really, really quickly. So quickly, actually, that they infested all 5 of the Great Lakes in Ontario in just 10 years. And now we can see here's a map of North America and the mussels infesting North America. We can see that they've infested all of the eastern provinces and states, and that they're slowly making their way out west. You see, mussels are really good at sticking to the bottom of boats, like canoes or paddleboards. And since they're really, really small, they can be hard to see. If someone went canoeing in any one of these infested lakes and then brought their boat out to Waterton, these mussels could easily infest our lakes here. And this would be really bad news for all of all of our creatures here. And just like a vacuum, they'd leave nothing left. There would be zoo, no phytoplankton, zooplankton, so they'd disappear. No zooplankton would mean no food for the bigger creatures in the lake, like the worms or the fish, and so they'd probably all disappear too. There would be no natural life left in Waterton's waters. Mussels would take over. You see, zebra and quagga mussels are the only type of mussel that can grow on top of one another. And since each mussel can have up to 1 million eggs, they could completely cover our lakes in no time. And the effects wouldn't stop within the park boundaries. You see, the Waterton Lakes chain is the headwaters of the Waterton River. This means that the water we're all surrounded by right now flows into the Waterton River and then into the Old Man River. And it doesn't stop there. Water then makes its way into the South Saskatchewan River, which flows all the way across Saskatchewan and into Manitoba. Along the way, mussels could get into pipes that bring water to surrounding areas. And in a matter of months, these pipes could be completely filled with mussels. So no water could get through to farmers for food production or to communities for clean drinking water. Thankfully, this is not reality right now. Let's all take a deep breath in and a big sigh of relief. I feel peace, knowing that if we all work together, we can stop the spread of these aquatic invasive mussels. This has been a lot of serious human thinking, so I think we should take a break and all transform into a worm. And I have another magic spell for that. So once again, repeat after me loud and proud in your classrooms. Dear Magic Falls Theater, dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
The worms I've seen wiggle on the ground.
The worms I've seen wiggle on the ground.
Around.
Oh, we missed that bit. Can you repeat that for us, Shani?
Yeah, I want to know how aquatic worms move around.
I want to know how aquatic worms move around.
Amazing! What's happening? Look, we're a worm. We're so much bigger now, and the phytoplankton and zooplankton look so much smaller. Okay, like we said, we want to see how these worms move around. So everybody stand up in your classrooms if you're able and willing. And then stick your legs together. And then stick your arms close to your body. And then start wiggling around like a worm. The more we wiggle, the more we're going to move around in the water, and we'll get closer to these creatures to catch them. Okay, look, we're getting so close to this purple zooplankton. Should we eat it? Let's do it. Everybody, nom, 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 nom. Oh, delicious. That was such a tasty zooplankton. But I'm still pretty hungry. Everybody look around. Do you see that red circle at the top of our windows? That looks tasty too, even though it looks a little bit different than the other plankton. Let's wiggle again. Let's get close to it. Wiggle around, wiggle around. We're getting so close. We're so close. Okay, let's eat it. nom, 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 nom. Oh, delicious. That was super tasty. And I'm getting pretty full now, but I always have room for dessert. So everybody shout out your favorite desserts in your classrooms. Mine is cheesecake. Okay, now that you're thinking of your favorite desserts, you can sit back down in your classrooms and then put on your binoculars because we have to look really carefully through our windows to be able to see our desserts. No dessert, but look, it's a fish. This is a West Slope cutthroat trout because it has a red slash on its chin that looks just like a cut. To us, wait, did we say earlier that fish and worms are friends? We did, right? Right? Okay, it's okay. The fish has left. Whew, I was getting a little bit worried there that we were about to become the dessert. Whew, thank goodness that fish left. Oh, wait. Oh no, it's coming back. And it's coming right towards us with its mouth open. Oh my goodness, we're getting eaten. Ah! Okay. It's okay, everybody. Don't panic. The buildings will keep us safe that we're all in. Okay, it looks like we've landed. We must be in the fish's stomach. How cool is this? Wow. And we're not alone. Look, it's that tasty thing that we ate earlier. I wonder if it followed us in here. I mean, it's such a... It's multiplying. There's 2 of them. And it's transforming into a creature with 3 arms. Oh no, everyone. I know what this is. It's whirling disease. Of course. It all makes sense. It's 2 hosts to survive. An aquatic worm just like us, we're all in right now. This is an invasive species. It must cause harm. I mean, it didn't hurt us as the fish or as the worm though. So let's watch closely to see if it hurts this fish. On our seat so we can follow it. Wiggle around. Look, we're moving. We're all in the swim bladder now, which helps the fish stay afloat. Oh, and now it looks like the whirling disease has reached its destination. Everybody shout out in your classrooms where the whirling disease is right now in the fish.
Near the tail, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's made it to the fish's tailbone or the fish's spine.
Shani, just a quick heads up. I think that we've cut out your audio for a second, so we want to get you back. I know the animation's very cool, but it's a lot of bandwidth.
Be balanced, and then they can't swim straight, so they start whirling around in circles. Oh no, the whirling disease is starting to swirl already. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh. Okay. Wait, I have an idea. What if we spin in the arc? Okay, so track this spinning. All right. Okay, everybody get ready. And now spin. 1, 2, and 3. Whew, okay. How are you all feeling? Oh my goodness. I'm even dizzier than I was before. Oh, okay. Let's all sit back down so that we can unscramble our brains and think properly. Oh, how does this fish live like this? I'm so dizzy, I can't even think straight to get us out of here. I can't think of the spell. Oh, think, Shani, think, remember. Oh, I do remember that when any water gear moves from one water body into another one, it has to be cleaned of all of the dirt, all of the plants, and all of the animals that are on it. And then it has to be drained completely of all of its water. And then it has to be completely dried. And there's a saying to help us remember this. It goes clean, drain, dry. And so I bet if we all chant this together, maybe that'll work. So in your class, dry, clean, drain, dry, clean, drain, dry. Look, we did it. Wow, we made it out of the whirling West Slope cutthroat trout, and we're back underwater, swimming around. Wow, I wonder what aquatic creature we are now. Everybody put your binoculars back on and look in the water. See if you notice anything. I notice lots of fish. Cool. Let's all swim closer to these fish so we can get a closer look at them. Swim around. Oh, look. Perfect. Now we can see this fish up closely. Let's all take a moment to see what we notice about this fish. And then you can type your answers in the chat.
Feel free to chime in on YouTube as well, guys. So nice to have you guys in Magraths particularly. We've got our groups there. Let's see. Nothing yet, Janie. You might need to tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, while I was taking some time to notice this fish, I noticed that it has lots of cool colors. It almost has blue and gray and white streaks in the background. But what's really cool about this fish is that it has white spots on its body. Now, this is unusual because most trout species actually have black spots or at least some type of black markings on their body. So that makes this trout really special. And this is a beautiful bull trout. And we all must be one too. Lives in moving waters like rivers and streams because they need really cold water with lots of oxygen to survive. You see, interacted to the air for longer. Unfortunate change in hot summer days, the shallow water in streams warms up more and loses more oxygen than it used to. And so that's why this year in Waterton, there's no fishing allowed in moving waters like rivers and streams, but you can still fish in lakes. Because we want to protect these beautiful bull trout. Now, I wonder what, there's a worm up there. Catching worms sounds like so much fun to me. Okay, everybody start swimming in your classroom so we get closer to this worm. Oh no, wait, there's a hook attached to this worm. Oh no, this is a trap. Everybody swim backwards, oh no. It's too late. We're eating the worm and we're getting caught by an illegal fisher. Oh no, everyone. This cannot be good. Oh no, bull trout can't breathe out of the water. Okay, oxygen. So I'm going to count to 5 with my finger.
Oh. Shani, and sorry, classes, I know we've got a little bit of a tech hiccup right now. We have lost your audio entirely, Shani. It's a little bit too detailed a slide for this, but if you want to come back or maybe switch to the next one, we can highlight the story.
Okay. I wonder if we can help this fisher out. I think if we all repeat this saying, it goes, no black, put it back immediately. So let's all try shouting it out together, okay? Ready? No black, put it back. No black, put it back. No black, put it back. Oh, look, we're getting released back into the water. Amazing, everyone. We did it. We're back into the water with all of our bull trout friends. And we taught this fisher a lesson. We helped them learn all of the fishing rules in Waterton. That is so great. Now, fishing is one of my favorite. Transforming, I am getting pretty tired. And so I have one spell to take us all back to our human forms. So repeat after me one more time. Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Dear Magic Waterton Lake.
Thank you for helping us explore.
Thank you for helping us explore.
Let's return to how we were before.
Let's return to how we were before.
Amazing! Look at that, everyone. We made it back to our normal human forms and back to land. I had so much fun adventuring with you all today, and I hope you did too. Together, we learned how important it is for all of us to work together to stop the spread of invasive species. And I also learned how important it is to never eat worms. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Shani. And wow, that was such an amazing tour of Waterton Lakes, some of the amazing creatures you guys have there, some of the challenges, and we got some really key messages in as well. So if you want to come out of screen share, see us again, have a bit of a conversation, what we'll do is dive in with our Kahoot. There's 4 quick questions, test some understanding, have a little bit of fun. We did lose the audio for a little bit there, so if one of these is a little challenging, that is totally fine. But then when that's done, we're going to dive in with our classes. 1 question per class we'll probably have time for today. And if you have any additional questions after the show is done, please do email them to us at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. We'll get them to Shani, and you can get out all your questions answered online after the fact if you need to. Shani, if you want to help us out with any of these answers with seconds to spare, the more assistance, the merrier. But we've got 29 kids or groups in our Kahoot so far. So for those new to this, the faster you answer, the more points you get, and what you win is our everlasting respect. So it's pretty good. 3, 2, 1. Let's dive in with question 1. All right. So this is a multi-select. So there's going to be more than one answer. What kind of mussels are we worried about getting in the lake? Zebra mussels, donkey mussels, quagga mussels, or horse mussels? Only a few of you got these in. It's more than one answer. There are 2 here that are correct. What did we talk about a little bit? One of these is a really well-known one now, and one of them is a little bit less so. There's only 1 second left. Let's see what we got. Okay, a lot of you got quagga. That's unexpected. Way to go. And then 9 of you got zebra. So yes, zebra and quagga mussels are our sort of invasive species that we're trying to avoid getting anywhere. All right, yellow squid has our lead. Let's go to question 2. What type of fish has white spots with no black marks in its body? We talked about this. Throw these fish back. Is it rainbow trout, bull trout, sockeye salmon, or coho salmon? Shani, do you want to give us a little hint? What do we think?
Well, it is a male cow.
Perfect. 20 and yes, most of you got this right. We tripped up a few people with the other kind of trout, but our bull trout is our correct answer. Let's see what that does. Yellow squid keeps our lead. Ooh, 2 more questions. All right. Question 3. Another multi-select. It's going to be more than one. What 2 hosts does whirling disease need to complete its life cycle? This is a little tricky. I know we cut out for a little bit here, but we'll drive this point home. Is it aquatic worms, young trout, zebra mussels, or moose? That disease that we don't want to get into our fish, where does it have to be first, or where does it have to be over the course of its life? 14 answers in. All right. Aquatic worms and young trout. You guys got that really well. Way to go, everybody. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. I'm going to skip the leaderboard. You'll see why in a second. Because our final question is not, there's no points for this. We just want to know, do you want to go visit Waterton Lakes? They're beautiful. Like, it's such a glorious part of the world. Absolutely. Or you'd rather stay at home. Now, some of you are like right down the road. So maybe you can finish this broadcast and go later if it's a nice day. Explore. 23 answers in. And then we're going to head to Mr. Alston's grade 4 class first for questions. So get ready, guys, and you can unmute your mic. Everybody almost wants to go. That's amazing. Well, I hope you all get the chance. It's a very special place. And we'll see our leaderboard together. So Smooth Dingo's in 3rd. 2nd place, dun, 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 is Brave Sable. And first, for all the marbles, before we dive in with questions, is Yellow Squid, wire-to-wire victory. Way to go, guys. If you are Yellow Squid, let us know who you are in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. But let's head to Mr. Alston's class. So Cardston, come on in and take us away with our first question. Hey, grade 4.
Who has a question? Someone with the hand up. Hey, does anyone have a question, grade 4? Torin, come on up to the screen so they can see you and hear you a little bit better.
Hey, come on up. Yeah.
Come up here, Torin. Yeah. Then you can, there you go. Come right up to the camera. Okay. What's your question?
What's your favorite trail to do in Waterton?
That's a good question.
Ooh, okay. We're starting. Oops, sorry, I put my camera down. We're starting with some tricky questions here. I think my favorite trail to do in Waterton is Carthew Alderson. It's one that actually starts up at a high alpine lake called Cameron Lake. And then you get to come all the way down to town. It's 20 kilometers, and it's a very, very cool thing to start up in the wilderness at an alpine lake and then to end up in town. Thank you so much for your question, Torin. We have a local group in Cardston here, just 40 minutes away from us. That's awesome.
Love it. That's very fun. I hope you get the chance to go on that trail, or maybe you've already been before. That's awesome. Sifton School, we're going to go to Miss Kay's class. Come on in, unmute your mic, and take us away. Madam Nancy, we're coming to you next. Hey, guys.
Theo has a question.
What happened?
So Theo,
You were in. There we are. Hey.
ask the question.
What type of insects are in the lakes? And
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah, so there's lots of insects actually that live in the lakes, or even ones that fly on top of the lakes and then fall into the lakes and can be eaten by our trout species. So a couple of those are like mayflies or dragonflies. They're actually just like frogs in the sense that they start their lives out in the water. So eggs are laid in the water and then they hatch. They swim around in the water for their first stage of life, and then they grow into beautiful dragonflies and exit the water and live the rest of their lives on land. Great question.
Very cool question. Madam Nancy, Kamloops, if you guys want to unmute your mic, I'll come in and check in with you. And while I'm waiting for that, I'll go back to our Alberta classes for one more round. Mr. Alston's class, if you guys want to come on in again, unmute and take us away. YouTubers, feel free to chime in as well. You're all good to go. Hey, guys.
Up here. This is Vivian.
what's your favorite hike?
Ooh.
What's my favorite hike?
He said trail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Favorite hike
yeah.
itinerary?
Well, I have lots of favorite trails and hikes to do here, Vivian. So that's great. Another one that I love is actually Bear's Hump. So that's a really classic hike in Waterton. I usually do it at the beginning of the year to get myself in hiking shape because it's really short, but it's really steep. And you get a really, really good view of Waterton, the magic Waterton Lake. So it's only 1 kilometer, but it goes about 250 meters up in elevation. And so it really gets your heart going and you get a beautiful, beautiful view.
Sorry, for our audience at home, anyone who might not know what that level of incline is, that's basically climbing a ladder. Like if you're going up 250 meters of 1 kilometer, that's absurd. Good for you. I'm tired just listening to that. Sipton School, we're going to head to you guys for one more, and then we'll do a wrap up from there. It's been so nice having so many of you on, guys, but Sipton, come on in and take us away. Hey, guys.
Okay, we've got Oliver with a question.
Hey, Oliver.
Okay, so where's the so that? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the question again? I forgot. Oh yeah, what kind of fish are in the lake?
What kind of fish are in the lake? Yeah, great question. Well, we have so many fish in our lake. Actually, Waterton is one of the lakes in the Canadian Rockies that has the most fish. So we have lots of trout like bull trout, West Slope cutthroat trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, brown trout, so many of those. We also have different types of whitefish and Arctic grayling. We even have something called deep sea sculpin. And so there's such a huge, wide variety of fish. And that is one of the reasons why I love Waterton so much.
It's a pretty special place every time we get the chance to feature it. So thank you so much for that. Shani, we're going to wrap up with 2 quick ones. What can we do to stop the spread of mussels? One of our classes wanted to know. Any of the groups that are nearby, if you're out in Ontario, if you're in Newfoundland like me, is there anything just broadly speaking or specifically locally that you can do to help these lakes?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. So the best thing that we can do to stop the spread of these invasive mussels is to clean, drain, dry all of our equipment. So our boats, even our fishing equipment, our scuba gear, anything like that. After you use it in the water, take it away from the water body, take it home and spray it off with a hose. Make sure it's all clean of all of the dirt, all of the animals and plants on there, and then completely drain all of the water out, all of the compartments, and then make sure it's nice and dry before you bring it into a different water body.
This is happening. Shani, sorry about that. My computer was having a conniption fit. We've actually covered clean, drain, dry in a whole variety of broadcasts. I'm really glad we had that question in because it's something that you can do anywhere you go in the world. It's really, really important. It helps in a big way protect the rise of invasive species. So thanks, guys. All right, the awesomely named Hawkins wants to know a great final question, which is what happens if we swim in the lake when there's whirling disease? Do we risk getting it ourselves? Is it safe to swim in the lake? Anything you can share?
Yeah, great question, Hawkins. So thankfully, no, humans cannot get whirling disease. So you don't have to worry. You can keep swimming in your favorite lakes and you won't start swirling around like these fish. And so the best thing we can do is just clean, drain, dry our stuff to make sure that the fish don't get this whirling disease, but we will be protected. Don't worry, we cannot get whirling disease.
Shani, thank you so much for such an exciting broadcast as always. I know we're joining for the French tomorrow, but is there any last message you want to share with us before we bring in our classes to say a big thank you and farewell?
Yeah, just like I said, clean, drain, dry all your gear, everyone. And please enjoy all of these aquatic ecosystems around you. They are so beautiful and so fun to enjoy.
I certainly want to head. I think I might have to catch the next flight out of Newfoundland and head out west to come see you guys because it looks like a pretty special place. Mr. Alston's class, Sipton School, if you want to join me in saying a big thank you and farewell, I will bring you back into the broadcast before we say goodbye today. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. And have a wonderful day. Bye for now, everybody. See you all soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.